Until we get another theme song, this'll have to do. These are your blues reviews.
Hey guys,
Hey everybody, it's your boys Brandon
and Josh.
and we are here doing something that we've talked about doing for a long time. We see a lot of movies and theaters and concerts, and
A lot of theater shows too.
yeah,
Not just the theater.
not just the theater.
We see those too.
We see those too, and we can review those. But we always have really sort of animated discussions. Sometimes we're on the same page.
Most of the time we're not.
We're not. So why don't we let you guys in on the discussion that we always have afterwards? So why not share it? Today, do you want to introduce
Today we saw a groundbreaking we're not performance, which was a Fox special aired on January 27th. Rent.
What? It's like I knew.
Brandon hates Rent, and yet this is his favorite hoodie, so figure that out.
Hate is a strong but accurate word.
I was gonna say after today, maybe it's a little stronger.
I still don't think I would say hate, but so I'm not a musical person by nature. I'm not a fan of musicals, and you love musicals, so it's sort of I'm a little country rock and roll situation going on here. But this took place. I can say that. What?
This is, we have to put Rent in context.
Okay.
First of all, let me give you my background. Yes, you'll need a drink for this. Rent, to me, was a coming of age. Rent was not only the biggest and best Broadway musical of my generation, but it's something that I grew up on. I had the original cast recording.
Okay.
I saw it on Broadway.
Okay.
I was in love. I had never seen a musical. Well, I probably did, but community theater or something like that.
High school,
I didn't even pay attention to it.
Right.
Yeah, it was very early on. I was in junior high probably, and it became very popular, like Hamilton is now.
Okay.
And so everybody sort of jumped on the bandwagon, and I had no idea what it was, and started listening to it. And, you know, being a young gay boy from the Midwest, I was exposed for the first time, but I was exposed for the first time to city life, to urban life, to things like AIDS, the AIDS crisis, and homelessness, and what it is to live in New York. And for the first time in my life, not only was I drawn to music as storytelling and probably helped lead me to where I am today and what I do, but it also helped me open my eyes to all this sort of social injustices and problems that were being had outside of my little Midwestern microcosm. So
it was a powerful thing for you, for sure.
Yeah.
Like
to me, it was game-changing.
Okay.
What about yours? You obviously went to see Rent before, and you've had that sweatshirt since I've known you.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, so I did not, like, it wasn't a big thing. I wasn't into musicals. I prefer, like, either give me a good orchestra or give me a dense drama or give me a slapstick comedy. But this world where the music and the drama and the comedy and the singing and the dancing, where it all came together in musical theater, that's just not something I was really a part of or, like, had a big inspiration from. So when I'm a little bit young, we won't put you on blast, but I am a little bit younger. So even though we're in the same, even though they're in the same generation, like, there's still that 5-year gap that I think is the reason why they maybe wasn't as powerful for me, because by the time I was like your age and your grade, Rent, I think the movie not yet. The movie came out later, but there had been a separation from when the musical itself first came out, and it was this big triumphant thing. There had been a period after that, so like Cats had come out, Lion King had come out.
Well, when you mentioned it and you gave the background, it sounded like it might have been one of the first shows that you'd ever seen. Is that right?
No, actually not. Okay, so I'll fast forward a little bit. The first time I saw Rent, I saw pieces of the movie when it came out. So that was the first time I'd ever heard anything about Rent, knew anything about Rent.
So you had to see Rosario Dawson before anyone else.
Yes, I did see her first, and I remember getting about halfway through the movie.
Yeah, no wonder you don't like it.
Oh, Rosario, we love you. I love your work in Luke Cage. Thank you. Sorry about that. No third season.
Sure.
You're not. Stop. We are not making Rosario Dawson the cause of anything. She's great.
No,
I
she
like
was
her.
fine. She was
She's
fine.
great. She was. But in college, about 2008. So this is where I got the hoodie. 2008. I had a very good friend, Tiffany, and she loved musicals. My college was actually known for its musical theater program. Terrence Mann, who was on Broadway, was one of the endowed professors that came in.
Shout out to Western Carolina University.
Western Carolina, go Catamounts. So like there were people that enjoyed musicals around me, so I was cool. One night she said she had tickets to go see it in Charlotte, and the original Anthony Rapp and Adam Pascal were going to be there in their original roles, and I was like, okay, sure, that seems like a whatever. It seems like fun. Little did I know that what she meant was for me to drive us 3 hours to Charlotte, where I already lived, so I could have just went home for the weekend, but I did drive her from the college 3 hours, see the show, and be back that night. So there was a 6-hour round trip for me to see Rent, and at that point, the musical needed to have walked on water in order to appease me, because I was like, okay, this is, they're not doing bad. These guys are holding their own, but damn it, I don't want to drive those 3 hours back. And after driving the 3 hours to get us there. So I got the hoodie because I just like to get something from the show. But no, Rent did not. It didn't have that powerful moment to me. I understand.
You heartless bastard.
Okay, but anyway, maybe we'll find it during the review. Let's get to the
All right, jump right in. So, initial reaction. I posted on Facebook today that I was watching this and had about 10 friends be like, private message me or post on my page to say, that was awful, it was the worst. Some people were like, I didn't even get very far into it. I had to turn it off within the first 20 minutes.
Oh.
Alright, people are going to hate me probably, but whatever. I loved it. I loved a lot of the integrity that it had.
Mm-hmm.
The opening montage was really kind of cool. Now, the Mark and Roger that were cast in this, Jordan Fisher and Brennan Hunt.
Before we go on, we have to say what, right off the bat, there was a little kerfluffle because this was supposed to be Rent live.
Yeah, first of all,
Let's clear that up before we get into it, because I think that might have affected the performance.
yes.
So let's address that.
So apparently, this dude, Brennan Hunt, breaks his leg on the final dress rehearsal or his ankle or something, and can't go on to do obviously all of the movement and choreography.
There was a
and
lot of
walking.
choreography. There was a lot of dancing.
Yeah, a lot of jumping around. Especially his character is a guitarist. He's a musician. So Roger is always active and jumping. La Vie Boheme. He's up on tables and doing whatever. So Fox decided, okay, well, we've already got the tickets sold or whatever. I don't know. And they're like, we're doing it. With or without him. So most of it was not live.
Go on.
The show must go on.
Go on.
Which, here's the point. I don't get. What the hell is the point of doing musicals live? That's the point of a musical. It is live. Like, the whole concept is that it's live theater.
Okay.
So it's like groundbreaking. We're doing it live. What?
So here's the thing. Here's what I would. Okay, you're. If you don't know Dr. J, he is very big in the LA opera scene. He's an voice performance. If you want opera, this is your guy. So I'm going to relate it. So when you have these presentations at AMC that's live at the Met, but you're watching it here in LA in your theater, and it's sort of like, I think that's their attempt to bring musicals back to another generation. Because think about what musicals are going on Broadway now. Now we've seen sort of a revival with like more contemporary stuff, like Mean Girls and SpongeBob, and
Oh, yeah.
that may not be everyone's cup of tea, but
Broadway is doing a great job of
Broadway is trying
tailoring their shows and their musicals and things to a younger audience and keeping it alive.
I think that these live musicals are another way to try to bring in the audience, because you have younger artists in these roles that maybe on Broadway they wouldn't be put up there because Broadway's the veterans.
Right.
Yeah,
and I don't know. I get it, and I like what they're doing, and I like getting younger people to be inspired by the theater and want to go to the theater. But, whatever. Find something else to call it. Don't call it live. It's like, go to the freaking theater. That's live. You watching it on your TV.
bitter much.
Hey, I'm just trying to push people to the theater.
They
They don't know what they're not missing.
He's doing shows. Get it? He wants you in the theater.
Anyway, so that is the context of the Fox special. So let's jump in.
Okay.
So I sort of gave my initial thought. Talk about your opening.
Okay, so for me, not knowing I didn't really like the musical, I was just waiting until I was like, oh, where's Valentina? Oh, where's Tina Shea? okay, when is Vanessa Hudgens getting here? Because I know that's bad. Like, I already had this bias, and so the opening, going in with that mindset where I was like, okay, I'm just waiting to see my faves, and that's the only reason why I'm watching. That opening, I thought it was really engaging. I like what they did with the set because...
Oh my God, when they tore away, that was like, I was living for that moment.
Okay, if you haven't seen it.
They started in the bedroom, like they are tuning the guitar and the whole opening, part. And then when the song Rent comes in, it's like they tear away this huge... And the space was pretty impressive. The space was really cool. I liked what they did in there. It was like theater in the round / huge warehouse production facility. And it was a spectacle.
Yeah, that really was. That opening... What's the song? I'm gonna be honest, I don't remember the song because I was so focused on how well they did that. What was the opening?
Rent.
What did I think about? Oh.
It's called Rent.
The opening song is called Rent.
Called Rent.
Oh, you know what I remember? Okay.
Or are you thinking One Song Glory?
No. I do remember. The reason why I didn't really remember that is because when they tore down the curtain and everyone was on the scaffolds and it was like loud and raucous and Rent. It reminded me of the parody in Team America World Police.
Oh my God.
And that was one of my favorite movies in 2004 when it came out. But I went to see that with my dad, and I remember he was cracking it up about all the F-bombs and the rated R comment. That was like the first time we got
Everyone's got AIDS.
Everyone has AIDS.
I mean, they got it from somewhere, and this... Matt and Trey went into the future, saw this, then wrote that scene.
God.
Because that's how spot on it was for me. But then after we got after that, is that what happens next?
No, I was hooked. I thought it was great. The next big thing is Roger sings his One Song Glory.
Oh, that's right.
Which Ada Pascal has really made that song and created it.
We got to hear him do it.
Yeah. We went to see Something Rotten,
Something
new
Rotten.
Broadway musical. We saw it on Broadway, and then we saw it again at Amundsen Theater
Here in LA.
Los Angeles. And he was the lead. He was the Christian Bale character, right? Was he
Shakespeare. Yeah, the bard. Yeah.
And so he was pretty good in it. But at the end of the show, they were doing the Broadway Cares Equity Fights AIDS, which is a great organization, been around for a really long time. And of course, they were fundraising, and they said if we get $3,000 pledges or something in the audience, we're going to bring Adam Pascal back and sing One Song Glory. And of course, it was like that, and people were like, and he came back, and it was still, it's still amazing. He's getting up there. He's looking a little rough when he came out at the end.
Bro, why is she like this?
I guess we all each.
We all are getting there. Let him do him, but he still sounded good.
Oh, he was amazing. It was good, and it showed that like he was the one that took that song and made it what we know it as an audience today.
Yeah.
This new guy, Brennan Hunt. He
got me.
He had a couple moments where he went up. His top was really easy and beautiful, and so he made it his own. And so I was a fan of his at the beginning. He looked the part. He's like kind of average white guy, whatever. But
well,
that's what you said. That was the one part I agreed with.
Yes, I did. That was in my notes, but
okay. No, he was great. In fact, I was at the beginning. I thought he was the standout character, musically speaking. Although his performance sort of deteriorated over the course of the 2.5 hour show. Maybe that has to do with what was recorded the night before and what was live. Who knows?
Yeah. Again, like I kept thinking, knowing that what happened to him, was like it's a dress rehearsal. You and I are both performers.
Yeah.
We've been in that. Yeah, you want to give your all, like it's the real performance, a dress rehearsal, but it's still not. Yeah. There's something about when it's the red light is on, it's for real, it's showtime. Yeah. There's like an adrenaline that kicks in that just takes it up another notch, and that's what people want to see.
Well, and apparently he was giving it that extra notch and jumping around and causing to break his ankle.
Okay, well, you can't give 11.
And in his
defense, goes to 10.
I mean, even though I said his performance deteriorated, it might have been, the pain meds talking by the end of the show.
Well, he was only in his hurt form in the last little act. Yeah. So is it We'll get there. Okay. Well, let's.
All right, so then comes Mimi, right? And here comes Mimi. Just
wiggling that ass.
a little background. Hopefully, everybody, if you're watching this, you've seen Rent or you know a little bit about Rent or
if
something.
you're here and you don't know or care about Rent,
and you haven't turned off what you're watching, then. But Rent is based on the late 19th century operatic work La Boheme by Puccini.
that's good to mention.
And so some of the characters, all of the characters actually relate to a character from the original opera. Having done the opera many times now, it's really interesting to go back and watch Rent because this was the first thing I saw before I saw Boheme, before I saw
the opera.
Yeah. And so when I was a kid and I was in love with it, like I didn't know what Boheme was. I'd heard of it.
So you were like, that asshole Puccini ripped off Jonathan Larson.
Exactly. How did he do that? So anyway, so Mimi is a character from the original opera, and she retains her own name for Rent. She comes in and sings Light My Candle, so he's preserving the integrity of the plot, the initial plot coming in, and the electricity's off, they can't pay their bills, they're all bohemians, they're artists, they're hipsters, they're whatever, and they...
It's hipster now.
It's hipster now. Not bohemian anymore, but...
Oh, that's so gauche. They're hipsters. Okay.
And so here she comes and she sings Light My Candle. And what did you think?
Well, Mimi, if we haven't mentioned, is played by the wonderful Tina Shea. And she was one of the ones I was looking forward to. So, and I know the opera. Okay, so I will say I do know the opera Boheme. I also, along with Dr. J here, I also studied voice. So I have heard the opera. I was more familiar with it, and I liked it. I actually like Boheme as the story of the opera. So when she comes in, like you said, I really like that they kept it close to what that story, like I felt the same thing that I felt when Mimi in the opera comes in and she's being, it's a swooshing love, you can feel like the love is brewing. And I thought they did a great job, and I thought Tina Shea was amazing.
Underwhelming.
No, okay. Maybe it's because I listened to more.
There was a couple that stood out in that show that was like,
okay,
I like
so
them.
here, okay, I will counter you with this. Maybe I thought she was amazing because so many others were underwhelming for me. Like if I'm comparing the cast just in the cast, then I thought she was on the upper end because she's a musician. I've enjoyed some of her music, so I thought she looked the part. I thought she was really cute. I tooted the hell out of her second look when she asked him to come out.
Oh yeah,
with like the leopard go-go boots and the like blue tart
looking
lace front short.
The stitching was clear up. That was pretty
I was
awesome.
like, yes. So maybe I don't know. That's how. But I thought she was real, and I thought they had good chemistry.
Yeah. Whatever. I mean,
you're so hard to please.
I liked it. There's so many things I liked about it.
Okay.
I mean, whatever. They're one of them.
Well, that happens. They light the candle.
Yeah.
What else?
Okay, so let's get to Angel.
You haven't drunk any of your drink. What are you having?
Just because you're lush. I've been drinking this the whole time.
Have I not noticed?
No.
What are you drinking?
Because every time you're talking and I'm drinking, you're looking to make sure you look nice. Okay, so Angel comes out and Angel sings, "Today for you, tomorrow for me."
Played by who?
Played by the Valentina.
Hello, it's me, Valentina.
Valentina.
This heifer.
I
Valentina, great looks on RuPaul's Drag Race. Great, I don't know. I'm struggling to find something nice to say about Valentina in this performance. Oh, Valentina did some pretty, she learned her choreography.
Oh my gosh.
What? Were you watching the same thing I was? Because I was sitting here going, I love it, and you're going, I hate it the whole time. And now that I'm saying things that I don't like, you're like,
okay, I've got to preface. I'm not saying that for Valentina's performance in Rent. I'm saying that because we watched Drag Race as well. I'm sure a lot of you who might be seeing this came to see Valentina and watched Drag Race too. We liked her on Drag Race.
Yeah,
we love her on Drag Race. And so for me, it's a little harder for me to separate. Like, if I like you over here, I'm gonna cheer for you when you try something else. Like, to do this, I was like, yes, I like Valentina as the drag queen. I like, you know, she lives in her fantasy, and I'm fine with that because I live in my own too.
He does.
Love it.
I would have preferred, actually, if I love to see Valentina there as Angel.
Okay.
I would have loved to have seen her living in the element of being a drag queen and lip singing that shit with Wilson Germain singing in the background.
There you have it. She just should have lip synced.
Heffa can't sing to save her life. I'm sorry. I said it. You said it earlier. You're just afraid someone's going to see you and be like, oh, man.
I'm staying neutral.
Like I said.
Roses for everyone. I do listen to
She learned her choreography.
I know. I've got all Selena's albums, so just putting that out there. Don't come for me. Come for his wings.
All right. So
okay,
moving forward, we'll touch on Valentina as we go along.
There'll be more.
What's the next? Tango Maureen.
That was next?
It's ish. We get to meet and see Joanne and hear her sing.
Okay.
Joanne was actually pretty good.
Yeah, I remember I said I liked her.
She was. She had a nice sort of stage presence and commanding authority when she was on stage. Singing was great.
Do you know what I did? I lived for
what?
That tight
blonde
cut. And I think in the first scene she was in, she had on a red leather vest with matching red gloves. Okay, I love it. That's all I'll talk about. I'll be honest, is the costuming and the looks, because I love it. But
costuming was pretty damn good for this
costuming and styling, I thought was so good, because I believe, like, it just worked. And like you said, she was commanding because she had that blonde tight wig and those matching red gloves. She didn't mean any business.
That is Joanne, and she embodied the spirit of the character.
Mm-hmm.
And you were afraid of her. And this whole song with cute little Mark was okay. Mark was played by Jordan Fisher, nice young man.
Yes,
He's on
musician.
Hamilton as the son right now. Took Anthony Ramos' position as Philip Hamilton. I don't know if he's still in it. I assume he is, because it's only been about a year, a little bit more.
Maybe, but no stranger to the theater.
No
obviously.
stranger to the theater, and he was good. He was fine.
Yeah,
he's cute as a button. Oh, I'm sorry, but
no.
Trade this one in for a younger model.
I'm not.
But I did follow him on Instagram today.
Yeah, Jordan's a good-looking guy. I thought he obviously was in the theater. It showed that he knew music, and he won Dancing with the Stars. So I also thought he could move.
Yeah,
like that.
Actually, that was looking back on it. That was a highlight of the whole show. Was Tango Maureen when he was singing with Joanne.
Yeah,
I don't know this person, Kiersey Clemens.
Yeah. I don't know.
Do you know
her.
anything about her?
No, I don't know her, but props to you, Mama.
Yeah,
you did it.
And their chemistry together as playing the ex-boyfriend and the new lesbian lover girlfriend,
that was really
and
cool.
having sort of the cute little boy next door, like tight, and then this very dominant lesbian lawyer that is clearly very comfortable in her own skin. They played that well. It was sung well. It was acted well. It was very cute. That was one of the highlight numbers, I think, of the whole piece.
Yeah, two for them.
And then your girl Mimi comes back out and sings "Out Tonight."
In that look.
And the look that he loved.
Luke.
I'm glad he loved the Luke, because
that was.
I can't think of anything nice to say. So moving right along.
Oh, okay. Well, let's move along, because I don't like the show. So.
Out Tonight was not one of the standout numbers of the entire piece.
Okay, we said we were going to move along.
Okay, all right.
Don't do my girl.
We get to Santa Fe. They start talking about Santa Fe and I'll Cover You, which is my favorite piece, other than, of course, Seasons of Love, which everybody loves. And I don't usually like songs that are popular. Seasons of Love is obviously the one that is the most recognizable and the most well-known from the show, from the opera. But
that's a problem I have.
Usually I revolt against the songs that are sort of the bandwagon songs that everybody loves. But I don't know, maybe it was a different time and place. Maybe I was at a different spot musically or whatever, but I've always loved that song. And the other song that really touches me and hits me is I'll Cover You. When Collins and Angel are sort of pledging their love with each other.
Okay. Because it took me a second. Again, not a huge fan of the show. I couldn't remember whose song was who. Now you say that, yes, that I do. Their chemistry in that moment, like, I don't think we didn't really talk about when they met, but
Yeah.
they meet, and I thought they worked really well acting wise. Like I could kind of feel that there was the love brewing in
Yeah,
that.
they had some good chemistry. And the young man that played Tom Collins, he was no Jesse L. Martin, but Brander Victor Dixon, was pretty good. As he went on, it got better and better.
He got better.
It was by the end. I don't want to spoil it yet, but oh boy! But the beginning before the reprise of I'll Cover You, the first time through, it was really nice. It was nice chemistry, and you could see them growing as a couple and as a pair, and it was really nice.
Valentina had some beautiful singing.
Valentina, I'll have to watch it again to see if there was a point where Valentina had some beautiful singing, but I'm sure.
I know of one, but we'll get there. Okay.
So, anyway, if you don't know, Angel is drag queen, although more of a drag queen than, because she lives as a boy, right? So we meet her as a boy, and they both have AIDS, and they both Angel starts to bring Collins to her support group, and that is the first time, or one of the first times, we meet some of the or what do you call them? Compromario characters. Ensemble. I've been out of Broadway. I've been out of musical theater for a minute now.
If you wanted to watch Bohème, just watch Bohème.
And we see these characters who are playing the homeless and the members of the life. What do you call
like relatives of the leads.
Life support group.
They were at the
And
meetings.
they were amazing. Every single one of them. Well, no, I shouldn't say every single one of them. There was the one guy that comes out and sings, and he's got the things on his face, and it was so naked and exposed, and I'm like, girl, just sing it. I understand you're nervous. But, like, they had an African-American woman that was, like, older. That
my
was
favorite character
great.
in the show.
And, of course, the incomparable
Kiala
Sato from Greatest Showman.
That was my biggest problem.
Sato.
Why wasn't she up front? Why wasn't she up? We know she can bring it.
They just brought her in to sing that Lickin' Seasons of Love that brings the house down.
I understand
I've
that.
never heard it sung like that. That was...
But she... Okay, we're going to let that go because that's true. But I wanted her up front. And
she's awesome. She's amazing.
She's amazing.
But so anyway, as Brandon said earlier, the adults really showed up and ran circles around the kids.
The kids.
Anyway, so we finally get to meet Maureen, as played by
Vanessa Hudgens.
And
girl.
She's great. The character Maureen is a really interesting character in this show anyway.
She's a little bit of wacky.
Because she doesn't show up until halfway through. The first thing we hear about her, we learn about her, we know the relationship she's had with her ex and her new lesbian lover, and we know she is sort of this like hippie feminist protester, into performance art. And the first thing we see pretty much, I think we see her coming on or whatever, but the first big number she does is this Over the Moon.
Yeah.
Which changes in every production. Wherever you see, that's the cool thing about Rent, is that it's like, it's going to be different every time you see.
Change.
Yeah, I mean, like, the whole you just think of like happy hippie, like people making performance art for a cause, for a protest, or for whatever the cause
I'm down
is.
for that.
And you can take that piece of music in whatever time and whatever culture and whatever era, civilization, and be like, we're gonna change it to adapt to what's going on today.
Okay, and for me, I loved it because I thought Vanessa came out and I was like, yeah, she knows how to do this.
It was cool. She did a great job.
I was like, she's been in the theater. She's done a musical live before. She's done one of these, Fox, NBC, whatever lives. So she's got that. She's done some High School Musical, and she was giving us regular, not brown, cow stunning.
Regular cow stunning. Yes.
Regular cow stunning. Get on that, Miss Monique Hart. Shout out.
And that's the part of the musical that I've always not liked. When I used to listen to the CDs, I would skip over the Moon because I'm like, ugh. But
I didn't know. Yeah.
So like from a musical context, I never really got into it, but I loved what she did, and I think it was really admirable. What comes next?
I'm following you.
I think some stuff happens, but the next big number is probably V Bohème.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah, because Mimi asks him to take her out, and he says no. He pushes her away. And then Mark's like, well, what are you doing? You got to go for it, man, right? And then they do end up going out to see Maureen's show, and they all have this Viva La Boheme.
Yeah, and that's sort of like in La Boheme, that's the moment where Rodolfo brings Mimi to introduce to the friends at the Act 2 at the big cafe.
Okay, so
they're in the cafe, it's their place, and they've got all the tables. And this is the biggest high energy part where you have all the ensemble involved, you have all the principal characters, all the leads on stage, everybody's dancing. Little Jordan keeps popping up in different spots and facilitating. He's sort of, I guess, the narrator in a lot of ways of this whole montage. And it was high energy. It was really kind of incredible. I liked it.
Oh, okay.
Thought?
I don't really have a thought about it. I remember watching it. It's like, okay, we're here. Great. And like, I don't know. So I know that cafe scene in the opera, but in that show, we have this big vivacious scene, but then we see Musetta, who's Maureen, Vanessa Hudgens in this version. Her character would come out and she would give this grand, oh, the men just love me, and all of this trying to make Mark jealous. And I think part of the thing that for me and Rent that's missing, that element is missing. Like I liked seeing them that true. Relationship. In Rent, it's not.
You asked a question though at the beginning of us watching it, and you go, "Why in the hell did they put Musetta's waltz theme as Rogers,
who is not her man in the opera?"
Which maybe there is a concrete answer. I don't know, to be honest with you. Mm-hmm. My only speculation is that it's a tip of the hat to Bohème and to Puccini, and that is the most recognizable aria, the most recognizable melody of operatic repertoire. I mean, it's
it's in public domain, so we can.
Yeah, there you go. Exactly.
But yeah, it's a beautiful melody. I was always wondering that. And here's the other thing that I just thought about right now: there is no counterpart for Joanne in the opera.
Joanne is sort of like Alcindoro, the sugar daddy, but she is much developed, and we see her. It's interesting that we see her in Act 1. We see her before we are introduced with her as the new counterpart to Maureen.
Okay, yeah. You're right. Okay, I never thought about it because in the opera she has the sugar daddy. We see him, and she's like, "Okay, I'm done with him. I'm going back with my guy."
She's definitely expanded, and actually has in the opera. There's no character development. It is a shtick, and he's there to provide comic relief and for Musetta to play off of, and for him to get upset and get stuck with the bill.
And speaking of which, who is also more developed? That character, the sugar daddy in the opera, is also usually played by the guy that plays Benoit. Mm-hmm. And so he's just a one and done character in the opera, the sugar daddy. But in this one, we do see him in the scene played by Mario, who is not a member of B2K like I thought. Because you asked me, you're like, who's Mario? And I was like, oh yeah, he was in B2K. You know, my cousins, they used to love them with Mario and Raspy and all those folks. And no, in doing my research, he's not with them. But in my defense, he used to open shows with them. So he's gone on tour with them. They've been seen together.
That's why you thought that.
That's why I thought that. But any thoughts on him while we're here?
He was fine. The character is interesting because, like you said, in the opera, it's just he's in for 10 minutes and then he's gone. And you keep seeing Benny pop back up. And Benny is actually the character that Jonathan Larson created is one of the friends of these Bohemian guys. Mm-hmm. He is maybe a trust fund baby, or his father's wealthy and he owns the apartment complex.
He got money.
He's living in two worlds, and you actually see character development from him too, because he is here, this rich person who is their landlord and they're supposed to pay rent, but he's also friends with them. And it's really interesting. That's one part of the musical I love, is that you see these different characters that intertwine and it was well adapted.
Okay. Never thought about that.
And shout out to Taye Diggs, who made an appearance at the end.
Yes, Taye Diggs, the original.
Still hot.
Yeah.
And then we get the Seasons of Love, the song.
What can you say?
I can say Keala, Bear My Children. You're amazing. That was
Ooh,
a performance.
that's quite a strong proclamation. Bear my children. Bear my children. Is that wait?
She was that good.
I don't know. Is that a compliment? Is that like a positive thing? Hey, girl, you were so good. Bear my children.
Wait, imagine our babies could sing and act. We're gonna have some fruitful little singing, acting, storytelling children.
The Von Trapps of 2019.
There you go.
Let's go.
There you go.
Kiala.
Yeah,
Colin.
Seasons of Love, always, always, in the context of this show, just makes me weep.
Yeah.
Like, I do have heart. I have heart after all. And you know, it's funny when you connect to things that bring you back to a time and a place in your life when you were, whatever the case is. You hear a song on the radio and it's like, oh my God, that was 6th grade, middle school, and I was here and I was doing this, and it's like, and you remember every word of the song, you remember like where you were, whatever. This is that for me, that like, I don't care, like, I don't know, it just always, not being a crier, not being a very feeling, emotional person.
Very odd to see it. So I was like, girl, get it together. What this show is not doing nothing for me.
No, that was great, and the
But it
context
has a deep personal
Yeah.
feeling for you.
Oh yeah.
So of course, you know, you're gonna feel that way. But it always like, to me, it feels like that's a number we should end the show on. And personally, I was looking at my watch saying, oh yeah, isn't this shit?
Yeah, we sort of lost Brandon at some point. I don't even. Did you see Take Me or Leave Me?
Which one's that?
Every single day, I walk down the street. I hear people say,
Okay.
babe.
I was checked out for that. I didn't need to see it because I've heard enough girls in studio classes and in auditions. I've heard that song, but I've heard that song so much. You can't tell me you haven't heard that in all those auditions.
Oh yeah, I'm always playing it for somebody.
Yeah, so I'm like, every girl that thinks she's got a little sass and twang in her that wants.
Usually, every girl that wants to sing it is a basic white girl that has very limited talent.
Girl,
let's be honest.
Okay. Well,
so what'd you think of it? Good, bad?
I wasn't there.
Oh, he was asleep. Okay. Well,
I was not asleep. I wasn't there.
My interpretation was pretty high energy. It was good. I like their chemistry. I like them playing off each other. Maureen and Joanne.
Oh, okay.
Oh, Jesus.
Didn't they already have a song?
No. Mark and Joanne had a song, The Tango Maureen, where they sing about her.
Okay.
Anyway, moving right along. Clearly, this is going very south very fast. We're almost to the end, though.
Show.
We get to this very naked, exposed, beautiful moment where we hear Without You.
Without you. Oh,
no.
It's David. Okay.
Without You.
Okay. We can only sing 2 notes.
We can, because then we're gonna get a bill in the mail. So and then the funeral, and it was like, oh,
the funeral. No, we have to talk about before the. Well, we have to talk about who died. We didn't mention who died.
No, that's a spoiler. We don't want to.
That's actually my favorite part.
Why? Because Valentina will stop singing because she's dead now?
Don't do it. Don't do it. Tried it.
Oh,
tried it.
Lord have mercy. Yeah, Angel dies, right?
Spoiler
alert. Angel has, her body is a vessel for the acquired immune deficiency syndrome. And like many people of that time and that era, the 90s, AIDS comes out in New York City and some of the big cities, San Francisco in the 80s. And throughout the late 80s and early 90s, it just devastates the gay community, particularly.
In all seriousness, that was a very rough and traumatic time. We have lots of friends that, you know, were there, that lived through it, and you hear them talk about seeing half of their friends gone in 1 week. So
when I was old enough to have known people who perished, who died from it, and it was huge. It was just devastating for the people, and that this musical really encompasses the culture and the feelings and what people are going through. And at one point, I think it's Roger who says he's not getting very close because he knows inevitably what's going to happen, and the closer he gets, the harder the fall.
Yeah.
But the funeral was incredible. That was the best scene. And I feel bad if you are one of the people that watch this and you're like, the music sucks and the singing sucks and I'm gonna stop at 20 minutes in. Go back. Fast forward if you don't want to see anything else and see this scene.
Yeah.
Because,
that's when I came back.
Yeah.
I came right after, and I just really do want to pull a plug because I honestly thought the death scene of Angel was the best that Valentina sounded. Because I thought that's
you mean going into it.
When they're having their last moment together and Angel, the character of Angel sings, it's a very high piercing, and I thought that fit her voice much better, and I thought she was able to be fluid, and she was for me, she was really in it, like going through that spiral of the soul, like leaving it. So I just want to put that.
That was an interesting interpretation of it too. What they did with it.
That for me was that powerful moment.
I knew that Brandon Victor Dixon was going to bring it for the funeral when Angel died and is there on that white linen. And what do they keep saying? She's gone, or something. Damn, you would think I'd know because I knew this. But
it's over.
It's over.
It's over because we see
over.
the two other couples like having sex or something like that in their beds, which I don't know if that's a normal staging, but I thought that was very good because you see comparisons of people's story and how the same words can be very different.
And when she dies and there's that moment of silence and he delivers that line, he says, "It's over." It was like, you hold your breath and it's just like spine tingling, and then all of a sudden you're transported like that into the funeral scene. And Angel, the character of Angel, is like someone that like you want to be, or you should want to be like, because it is this highly artistic, individualistic just character that's free and that's so selfless, that always thinks about other people and wants to help other people and so all of these characters stand up in her funeral and give testimony about what she's done to them and how she has put other people first. And it kept building, and like I was getting more and more tore up about it, watching these people. And then Collins gets up. It's gonna make me cry talking about it, thinking about it again.
Wow.
And his song, it's the I'll Cover Your Reprise, was like heart-wrenching.
He brought it. He absolutely brought it.
It was beyond like, I can't imagine. After hearing, like, I loved Jesse L. Martin. I think he was the best voice and like one of the best. I just remember singing along with all of Colin's songs on the soundtrack, and I was like, oh my God, I wish I had an instrument like that. But this young man that has come out now, like, it was a slow start. I didn't think he was going to be that great in the beginning. But by this point, I'm like, that is the best voice and the best storytelling and the most emotionally connected to the character that I could hope to have won a scene. Kudos.
There's nothing else I can add to that. That was I may not like the show, but you can't deny the power that was in that.
Yeah.
And
that's pretty much, I mean, that's the end of the show, with a couple exceptions. There's the tying up and whatever, and there's the Seasons of Love and Praise, and there's
hold on. Okay, so we're glossing over. Yeah, we had a great moment. If the show ended there, we would have that ending of the heart.
That would be a downer.
But,
well, it is a downer.
It's still a downer, because I remember I asked you, in my mind, knowing the opera and knowing that the character of Mimi, spoiler alert, dies in the opera, I remember asking you, I don't think she died. I think they just trade Angel, because Angel relates to the character of Chernard, and as you said, Chernard is actually a comic relief character and has a smaller part. So I felt like they brought in Angel and maybe killed off Angel because she was so innocent and loving. We can feel a sense of uplifting from the life that she lived. We kill her instead of Mimi. Right. And so I always thought that Mimi didn't die, right? And then you were like, no, she dies. And so in this
she dies and she comes back, and then Angel sends her back.
Question. So yes, she dies, but she gets to come back. Shantae, Mimi stays.
Shantae, you stay.
Valentina, you still gotta go
she gets
home.
she follows the white light, and there is Angel looking great, and sends her back.
Okay. Well,
that heifer could have died. Who cares?
I mean, well, so
I would have not, but it would not have affected my heartstrings one way or another.
Well, the reason why I bring that up because it feels like they added that in order to pay tribute and keep the story consistent with the book and the opera because she does die, and we do have that scene of all the friends coming around her.
Gotta have a tragedy,
right? But then I feel like then we swerve it and keep her alive. To me, I'm like, okay, that's great, she's alive, but I didn't need that coda then. Like then we could have just Seasons of Love out of Angel's funeral, and I would have been great. So I don't know how the coda. I will say coda part is the part that was live. They started being live from there because it just required Brennan, who broke his foot, to just be on the table next to Mimi, and he didn't really have to move.
Right.
So that's when it became live. How did you think anything changed? The sound quality or the effort changed?
No, I didn't even notice, to tell you the truth. And in fact, there were probably other scenes that were live that he didn't have to move around in. You would have had to have been there to see it and see what they did.
The editing and all that.
Yeah. The power of editing today.
Okay.
And then and that's it, right? And then at the end, the
finale,
cast comes out, the original.
Well, I think that's a bigger moment. So traditionally in the show, they end with a reprise of Season of Love, right?
Yeah.
And the cast that's there do all come out.
Right.
And
that's the curtain call.
That's the curtain call. And so in this version, in order to pay further tribute, they had the original Broadway cast there,
which was very cool. It was really nice to see all of them pretty much that were there. Daphne Urban Vega, Anthony Rapp. Your boy Adam
Pascal was
and
there.
Of course Jesse L. Martin.
Yes.
And he sang the I'll Cover You bit there, and
he took his lick back and said, "I'm going to show you how we did this."
But there was
who
one
kicked
moment.
It off?
From the Oscar-winning animated movie Frozen, please welcome the wickedly talented one and only Adele Dazeem.
Is that the one moment? Go! I'm gonna let him go in. I have no allegiance to him.
Adina, girl. We love you. You're an icon. I don't know what you were hearing. Maybe the earpiece was up. Maybe that was one of them like Mariah moments. Ooh. I wish they would have had a take two on that shit, because I'm like, my face was this the whole time.
Well, okay.
I mean, this is the Idina Menzel. Okay, to hear her sing like that.
Here's what it was. Adina, you didn't come out. You gave like a 90, and yes, we can hear that 10%. But you're Idina Menzel, so we expect 110. So when you're giving 90, that's really not okay. Sorry, it's the burden of success, right? So
everyone's expecting 110 now. So
right, you got the Tony,
don't let us down.
But I expect.
We'll preface that. We can criticize all we want, but bitch, you still got a Tony sitting on your mantle.
You had Taye Diggs, who was also there, looking
there.
Chocolatey and fine.
Yes.
He don't age. He didn't sing.
He didn't. I think he sang, but ensemble he didn't have any.
Yeah, Benny doesn't have really a solo. Well, he kind of has one, but there's nothing in Season of Love for him to sing.
Little Puerto Rican Poppy, Wilson Germain was there with his. I don't know what he's doing now. I don't think.
Showing up to cameos.
Showing up.
And the Kiala got a moment. They didn't have Kiala's mic up for when she.
Oh no, because they was giving it to the original Heffa.
Who still did good.
Yeah, she
did good.
They got the voice.
But I was like, okay, Kiala's gonna bring it on, and on her whistles, but they just had her mic turned down, and she was still giving it. But overall, powerful moment. They had a tribute to Jonathan Larson, who I don't know this. I know he passed, but what is the story? Like what was it?
Of course, he conceived and wrote the thing. There was a guy that helped him write a couple songs, but for the most part, he was the composer, the librettist, the story, the book author, everything. And he gave his life to it. I mean, he worked in Hell's Kitchen in a restaurant and was like slinging
this was like his story,
slinging coffee, waiting tables. It was his story, his baby. And as it started to get steam and they started to workshop it, they took it in for a reading and they invited a bunch of potential producers. And the producers heard it and they loved it so much that they actually picked it up and offered to fund it and pay for it before the end of Act 1, before Act 2 even began, because they believed in the storytelling and the raw emotional context that the story was written in. And so they picked it up to produce. It was off Broadway, and then it came on Broadway. And I think it was the final dress rehearsal. He went home. He had some interviews with some tabloids, some media stuff. And and he went home and died January 25th, 1996. He was 36 years old.
Wow.
Never got to see the success of it, so it's
He never even got to see it.
never got to see it on Broadway.
We're here critiquing, reviewing. I've said a lot about what I didn't like, if I don't like the show, but me being a real person, this was his work that he never even got to hear or see. So I respect that fully. I just want to make sure everyone knows that I fully respect what he did, and it's a powerful show that has touched a lot of lives, has brought focus on an important issue in our community and really the world's community. And so for that, I will never take anything away. Final thought, any last overall thoughts about the show?
I mean, I think we showed a lot through this why it was pretty good. I mean, there was a lot of very beautiful moments. It was good storytelling, and to me, it's always important, and it's always like inspiring to see something that's so impactful and that is emotional, that's a tragedy, a real life and a story tragedy, get retold for new audiences. It's so great that now all these young people that don't know what that's like and don't have any friends or probably never met anybody that was affected by AIDS or homelessness like that to be slapped in the face with these subjects.
Yeah. And it's still a powerful message even for today.
Yeah.
So it'll never go out of our hearts, really. Well,
But that's it.
that's it. We did it. Our first. How do you feel? First
Good.
read down.
Yeah.
All right. So
I feel so good. My wine is gone and it's time to refuel. And hope we'll bring you more of these in the future.
I was gonna say,
You gotta
since-
unleash the beast.
Well, you like. No, I still don't. Sorry. I still don't like the show. So I think, given your heartfelt moment, I think it's only fitting that you can't have it, but I at least let you wear the Rent hood. It's still my favorite.
This
Still my
bitch.
favorite one.
I'm going to. Yeah, you can't have it. No.
All right, we're getting out of here. All right, if you liked what you heard today, please follow us on social media. We'll link all that down below. Give us a like, give us a shout out. There'll be more reviews to come, movies, theater, pretty much anything. You can hear us go back and forth.
There will be wine.
There will
be bow ties.
There will be tank tops in pecs. So, cheers.
Until then. Ciao.
525,000